Dude, it's insane to think that it's been a good while since I've entered the afterlife, and it feels like nothing has changed. Well, Goku's the ruler now, but that's besides the point. There's really nothing exciting anymore, but the one thing that anyone in the afterlife can get excited for, whether you came here from death or the February 5th incident, is the annual Sonic Amateur Games Expo. Sage, the week where dignity doesn't exist. It's an event where talented Sonic fans come together to celebrate making actual decent Sonic games. Games such as Sonic Before the Sequel, Sonic GT, Sonic Pyramid Panic, and Freedom Planet got their start here. Enough people enjoyed these games and the developers enjoyed making them so much to where some of them have even become full-on games. Some fan-made and some not. And some just don't come out at all. Of course, it's annual tradition for me to hop on over to the totally in-person event of Sage, discussing a bunch of games, and have something funny happen to me after all is said and done. So, let's get Sagin'. That does not sound right, and I will never do it again.
This is Candace Dees from Drama Alert, and this just in. There seems to be rumors of strange tremors going on across the afterlife. Some have said the tremors were started by a Sonic fan game, but let's just say those rumors were put to rest, in a way. Cut the cameras.
Let's start our miniature journey with Sonic Horizons. After hearing from insiders that Sonic Horizons would be the next game in the Sonic series, I just knew it was about that time to try it out and see how stupid their sources were. Booting into the game and looking at Sonic's head, we see... I assumed his eyes were like this because my settings were acting up, but when I went to go change them, I found out that there were no settings at all. Well, that's just swell. Sonic Horizons is an open 3D framework that is most likely inspired by Sonic Frontiers. Sonic's got his famous abilities, spin dashing, drop dashing, and wall running. Now, some of you probably got war flashbacks from the November 2013 incident that was Sonic Lost World, but thankfully Horizons doesn't take notes from that game and rather does its own thing, where you have to do specific button combinations to latch onto walls and keep your speed going. There's also this gauge on the bottom left that seemingly did nothing. Eventually I found out that you could lower your gauge by pressing X in the air. For some reason. Overall, the framework is really solid. Sonic controls fluidly, the spin dash is really nice, and wall running is a fun twist on what's been established. I don't know why there's trees in the ground though. Just don't. Sonic Colors Demastered. Did you ever look at Sonic Colors Ultimate's budget of $5 and think to yourself, but what if we went lower? Well, Sonic Colors Demastered sets out to answer that question by giving us a Sonic Advanced styled demaster of Sonic Colors. From the gameplay to the music to even the cutscenes, no stone is left unturned here. On the topic of those cutscenes, they're entirely rewritten and even include callbacks to games like Sonic Unleashed. It's all very well done, but it kind of feels pointless. Sonic Colors on the DS already exists, and that's pretty much what this is trying to be, with a few injections from the console version, and you can play those on emulators perfectly fine, with the single screen compatible mod. So, what's the point of this existing? I personally feel that this game would be far more impressive if it was on something more limiting, such as a programming engine like Scratch. That has some well-made recreations of different Sonic engines, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal to get this up and running. But with what we have, Sonic Colors Remastered is a perfectly fine version of Sonic Colors that just doesn't hold much value, unfortunately. Sonic does say Big Oof in a cutscene, though. So that's worth something. So, Sonic Origins, right? It's a recently released collection of iconic classic Sonic games from yesteryear, remastered by dedicated fans to look better than ever on modern hardware. Not many people seem to enjoy it, but I personally... Wait a minute, this isn't the right footage. Oh, no, you thought I was talking about Sonic Origins. No, I'm talking about Sonic Mick Origins. Sonic Mick Origins is a collection of iconic classic Sonic McDonald's Happy Meal games remastered to look stunningly sharp on newer displays. Yeah, you know, the Sonic Happy Meal games. Some of you may have grown up with these things if you were a kid during the release of Sonic Heroes and your parents were avid supporters of child obesity. They were simple LCD games that would show specific parts of a big picture that would simulate movement. Keyword is simulate there. You may have also seen these online through the incredibly memeable Pakistan Sonic Electronics commercial that shows a bunch of Sonic characters with horrifying 3D models and Rogue the Mouse. Each game in Sonic Mick Origins comes with the option to showcase the game's plastic border that would come with a meal, play the game in full screen display without the border, and even view the manual for most of the games. So much detail was put into this silly collection of Happy Meal toys that can't go unappreciated. When it comes to the games themselves, you've got hits like Tails Soccer, Knuckles Baseball, Cream Flower Catch, Rogue and Amy Tennis, and some other ones like Sonic Extreme Boarding, Biggs Fishing, Sonic Skateboard, but no Shadows Basketball for some reason. The most iconic of these games, Shadow Basketball, is missing from this collection. For a minute there, I thought that the Pakistan commercial got Shadow's Basketball mixed up with Shadow Grinder, the Shadow game that is included in this collection. You know how it is, some people mix up the rail grinding with basketball, a common mistake. However, it does exist. Shadow Basketball has been heavily documented online, but yet it wasn't included in the collection. For some reason. Well, either way, it doesn't matter, because even without Shadow Balling, Sonic McOrigins is still the greatest Sonic collection ever made, and shall never be rivaled. This is the true Sonic Origins. But do you know what isn't the true Sonic Origins? Dormavelgia. That's an awful Sonic Origins. Dormavelgia is a sprite-based 2D platformer that kind of gives me Metroidvania vibes, but I'm not entirely sure if that's what it is. You play as Quinn, who uses a lasso to attack enemies, move objects, and swing around areas. Quinn wakes up to her home being invaded by some crazy bad guy named Somnia and her minion. Somnia! Insomnia! Gaining research for her latest project. To get to her, I had to get inside this tower by bugging this person named Pablo to give us the key. The tower had these really cool miniature puzzles scattered around it that I had to face to get to higher ground. But eventually I died in the middle of it and it sent me back to before I got Pablo's key, so I just gave up. Game's really fun though, I'll have to give it a shot when I suck less at it. But does it compete against clowns? Scratch and Melody, a rhythm game created by Leffenstar. Leffenstar, he gave us Sonic Revved Up, and thus, Depression. This game was actually featured in last year's Sage event, but considering my hardware back then had trouble having the storage to hold Garfield Kart, it was definitely not on the table. But now that I can run Sonic Horizons safely, that means that Scratch and Melody is up next on the chopping block, so let's get to it. The game doesn't work. I'm sorry, LJ. Dr. Robotnik's Bad Nick Quarrel, the only game you need besides Cars 2, the video game. It's an online game starring Robotnik and co, where you try to fight each other with Badniks. Unfortunately, the game can't be played solo. When I ask people if they want to play Bad Nick Quarrel, yo, you down for some Bad Nick Quarrel? Who are you? Let's check out what I can do on my own. Starting up, we're sent to a lobby that takes place in space with the Sam Procrastinates music in the background. There's also this giant Sonic in the Eggmobile. Huh. Going up to Gerald Robotnik, we can press this button to play as all of our favorite Badniks like Metal Sonic, Egg Robo, Shadow Sonic, everyone's here. I went ahead and turned my Sonic red so I can represent the only existing Sonic tuber that has likely played this game. It was at this point that I realized that you can literally do nothing without anyone else, so unfortunately I'll have to mark down my 11 out of 10 to a measly 10 out of 10. Hoping for the best for the next update, guys. Well, instead of trying games that don't work solo, what if we tried something that isn't a game at all. Sonic World's next. It's a classic Sonic framework, alright. Badniks, drop dash, spin dash, shields, springs, Sonic, the gang's all here. What about Sonic and Shadow? This splash screen is from Gens, we can definitely trust it. Okay, fine. Let's talk about Sonic Momentum. If you don't remember from last year, I wasn't the biggest fan of Sonic Momentum. The movement was alright, and the combat really dragged it down because you didn't know what you were doing. The only way you could know what you were doing is if you watched an 8-minute YouTube tutorial on the game, and no. If I have to learn these complicated actions through an 8-minute YouTube video rather than it being explained in the game, your audience's experience will probably fall flat. But this time around, our good old pal Mr. Bane finally added the tutorial to the game, with areas allowing you to get your footing on how Sonic moves throughout the game, making it far more enjoyable. When you know how things work, getting to top speed or momentum mode is so much fun. You have many ways of doing it, whether it's through rolling down hills with a spin dash, comboing with a peel out, or naturally gaining speed. They're all satisfying ways to get up to speed. And keeping that speed can be a really fun challenge as well. With a tutorial existing, combat makes far more sense. The various moves that you have add a lot of different experience of the fighting enemies, something we're seeing implemented in official games as well, which is really exciting. Starting with a spin dash and comboing into air dashes or stomps is just some of the few ways you can defeat Badniks, and keeping that scoring system up requires you to think up unique ways to deal with those Badniks. I also really like these Mach speed sections where you have to destroy a swarm of Badniks while moving at top speed. Again, it gives you more of a chance to add variety to the ways you destroy enemies, and even if you don't like the combat, from what I've seen and played, most of it is optional. You can just hit them once for funsies or completely ignore them. You won't get the sensation you get from fighting them, and your ranking will be lowered by the end of the stage, but you can simply platform and run around and still have a good time. I was definitely a bit too harsh on Momentum last year. While the lack of a tutorial definitely killed the game in some ways, the game in itself is still really fun. It doesn't always end on a joke. The game's just really fun. And that was Sage this year. As always, Sage is one of those events that just feels magical. All the fans coming together to... Goku, you're not supposed to start screwing with the map until the end of the season. I'm sorry?
Oh, that Spark Force Sage, that was insane, dude. I can't believe they made Spark. Holy shit!
Okay, so I'm not hallucinating.
Is that what it's like in Ohio? Because this sure feels like an Ohio moment.
Cole, listen, do you have any idea what's going on with this thing?
Well, actually, I do.
You don't?
I don't, but I did see some kind of game cartridge or something that may be powering it. I don't know, just spitballing here.
Sonic 95? That doesn't make sense. Sage is still going on.
Listen, I don't mean to burst your bubble. Like, I really don't, but what's that?
Is it a year? You know I love years.
How do you not know what Sonic 95 is?
Oh, yo, we're talking about years?
No, X-Pool's just imagining games again. He's talking about this Sonic game that has numbers at the end.
Ah, great. First Half-Life 2, now this.
How do you not know about Sonic 95? Sonic 95 Scrambled Egg sets out to be a sprite-based recreation of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Have you noticed the giant beast destroying the world we live on?
Right. Well, I guess we could pull an IDW and try to talk about the guy's feelings.
One of us is about to die, right?
Oh, definitely.
1000%.
Alright everyone, please create a single file line to the exit before we are all annihilated by some giant thing or whatever.
Wait, can we even die? We're technically already dead.
I don't know, I think the simple fact that Drama Alert was accurate on the end of the world is enough to give the possibility of death some validation.
This just in, I was right. Armageddon is here, and it's coming for us all. After the rumors of tremors around the afterlife, a giant beast is located near the Sonic Amateur Games Expo building, wreaking havoc across the area. Wait, what's that right now? Okay, hold on. In other news, I've just been told that the beast is heading straight towards us and should be wrecking the studio into pieces in a few moments. Thank you for watching Drama Alert. I need to get
Hey! Okay, look, I get it. Sage is in a big building, but that doesn't mean you gotta go terrorizing the Fortnite map to get your point across. Look, you can go over to Ender over here and talk about your life while he's using the IDW comics as reference for talking about your feelings.
Bring it on!
Ah, big oof.
Wait, we can actually die in the afterlife? I was joking!
Well, there's no time to question that now. We've got to run. We're about to put the Area 51 Raiders to shame tonight.
Man, Vegeta doesn't know what he's missing. The food here is great. Goku, what the is going on? What's happening? Oh, you mean the giant thing ruining the island. Yeah, I really don't know where it came from.
Well, do you know how to stop it at least? You're in charge.
I don't, sadly, but I think I might know who will be able to help. But you're not gonna like it.
You're gonna have to send us to hell, get the guy who's in charge there, ask if he knows what to do, get him to come back here, and save the afterlife.
Man, you're good. Yeah, it's just as simple as asking for his help. But I don't know if he'll want to.
That doesn't matter. As long as he doesn't like Sonic Unleashed, we'll be fine.
Wait, did you die?
Yeah, I can die in the afterlife, apparently. How does that work?
Give me a sec.
So this is what it's like to have legs?
So how the hell do we get to hell?
Oh, it's simple.
Wow, this is exactly how I imagine hell would be like.
Wait, so when we're saying what the hell, are we technically saying what the Ryan? Is that a thing now?
Well, we don't have time for questions like these, alright? We gotta find the person who runs this place. Hey there, Mr. Heinz Ketchup. We're wondering exactly who runs this place. We kinda need to talk to him about a situation that could lead to the end of everything as we know it.
What, were you born yesterday?
I'll have you know that I was born 10 minutes ago!
Ah, well in that case, it's an old friend of mine, Mr. Frick.
Mr. Frick? What kind of last name is that?
Right? His parents were dicks.
Wait, his parents gave him his last name?
Anywho, he's currently running this event where people play Sonic games that Sega didn't make. I don't know, it's really weird. I just preferred it when Nintendo murdered people when they whispered Mario's name.
Good to know. Do you know exactly where we can find him?
Oh yeah, he should be up there. He redesigned the old castle to look like Little Planet from Sonic CD. He said the reason was because it's better than 3 and Knuckles or something. I have no idea what that means.
I'm going to murder this man.
Dylan, calm down. Thank you for the intel. We'll take a look.
While we're on our way, can you explain exactly what Sonic 95 is about? Because I have no idea what we're up against.
Yeah, of course. Not sure if it'll help, but I'll see what I remember. Sonic 95 sets up to be a sprite-based recreation of Sonic the Hedgehog 4. It's got multiple parallels to the game it's based on, as well as adding a few new things to the table. Now, many of you should know, after my little moment at E3 2020, I became known as the guy who actually likes both episodes of Sonic 4, so obviously this would be on my radar. After trying to cover it in Sage 2020 but being interrupted by death from a nuke, and trying again in 2021 but being interrupted by Sage closing down before I could do anything, now would be the perfect time to finally take a look at it at this Sage 2022 time of year. Booting up the game, we're greeted to this open world map that kinda resembles that Sonic Crackers prototype from back in the day. The first thing you'll see is an option to select the intro cutscene. It's rendered in a low resolution with low polygon models to give it the feel of the glorious titular year 1995. It starts showing the Sonic fan character Omelette finding spare parts for Metal Sonic in Dr. Eggman's facility and taking it as her own to put a stop to Sonic. Obviously, Metal Sonic makes a massive scene and Sonic gives chase, starting off Sonic 95.
Damn! Hey, we're here to discuss her possible demise. Are you f***ing kidding me?
That kiosk will go over there, and the concession stand will be up front, and throw away those Heroes-themed goodie bags. They were meant to be Mania-themed. Come on, man.
I don't believe it. Matt has no cuts himself. Who would have guessed his last name was Frick?
Well, you better slap my and call me Sally. The guys I worked with during the 37 Wars? And that guy?
You shot me with a golden scar.
Shot you with a golden scar. Wait, Ender Electrics? You're real now?
Yeah, dying twice comes with its consequences.
Oh, well, I hoped you learned your lesson from before. But dude, you're completely different now. We gotta get a new name for you.
What, you have Ryan's Toy World powers to change my name?
No, those powers are used for different things. This place comes with a random word generator. So let's go see what your new name is.
Okay, we're not naming baby Ender over here after the greatest man who has ever lived.
Screw it. We'll find something out later. Anyways, what brings you guys all here?
Came here to find the ruler of this place to see if they could show us how we can save the afterlife from a giant beast powered by a Sonic fan game.
I'm not entirely sure on how to do something like that, but I am starting my own event on Sonic fan games, and I call it the Really Immature Games Expo.
So, Rage?
Look, not every name has to be perfect. Maybe some of the fan games here can get our brain juices flowing, you know what I'm saying?
Alright, show us what you got. Alright, Matt, well, it seems our first game here is going to be Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 3, Chronicles 2 DX Part 1. That's a title and a half. So, we're a pre-rendered Sonic in Green Hill Zone, and the trees are the old Sonic movie design. Okay. Oh, we even have our own little loop here. It controls itself. What? Next is Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 3 at the beginning. Are these all Sonic 4 themed? Well, booting into the game. Oh my god. Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog 1*4. Next up is just Sonic 4 Episode 3. We're in Green Hill Zone, in the frickin' bumper engine. What is that running animation? Sonic 4 Episode 3D Blast without Knuckles. These are all terrible!
Dude, it feels like every game in here has the same quality control as Sonic Rush 3D.
Bro, what the Ryan are you talking about?
Wait, so we do say Ryan?
Anyway, playing these games did get me thinking. Hypothetically, if the Beast is powered by a Sonic fan game, we could get these games to come together and create some kind of giant blast to destroy the Beast. I mean, that'd be kind of cool, right?
Okay, so, like, the Dragon Ball Spirit Bomb.
Exactly, like a spirit bomb, or wherever the that is.
And if X-Pool's memory serves him right, it's possible that the game being a remake may make it weaker towards original titles.
That's perfect! You'll use the Rage games, and we'll use the stage games that I have, remakes and originals, to create the Spirit Bomb. We can use your Ryan's Toy World powers or whatever to create it. Can they do that?
Oh yeah, of course, they can do things like that.
X-Spool, are you out of your mind? This is the same guy who murdered me because I preferred the Wii version of Sonic Unleashed. Who knows what he could do? He could backstab us last minute. He could, murder us because we don't like Sonic CD.
Actually, the guy from before said he likes CD more.
You shut up, Cassidy! Anyway, he could murder other people for having different opinions. There's so many awful things that he could do there.
What? I didn't murder you because you liked Sonic Unleashed on the Wii. I was told that you were part of the Different Opinions gang.
Wait, those guys? They killed my brother because he liked The Amazing Spider-Man 2 more than No Way Home!
Exactly. Horrible people. I was told that Duke was going to murder Jaden from the Sonic Show because he liked a 2.5-inch classic Sonic Jax figure, which I couldn't stomach in the slightest. I knew that this would start a chain of Sonic tubers fighting each other and maybe even start a war. So I knew that the only thing I had to do was kill the guy before things got out of hand. Sonic opinions shouldn't dictate how you feel about a person. It's toxic, it's not necessary, and it can make people not want to associate with you in general. If someone were to kill someone over Sonic opinions, it could lead everyone into a frenzy. Would you like it if someone demonized you if you didn't like their favorite Sonic game? I know I wouldn't. And that's why Sonic Unleashed is the best Sonic game.
Well said, but may I remind you that the afterlife as we know it will crumble if we don't hurry back already?
He's right. How do we get back to the Fortnite Island? We can't just fly back up or anything.
I think I might have something. Behold!
Matt, now is not the time.
Nah, listen. These are prototype jetpacks I've been making. They run off of Sonic Unleashed disc as a battery, so they can last as long as it takes to complete the game. I haven't tested them yet, and this seems like the perfect time, so, be careful.
Wait, what were you gonna do with those before we came down here?
It's not important. Do you want to save the world or not?
Damn, this nothingness is really getting through to my respiratory system.
Really? I feel fine.
Yeah, it makes sense because it only affects people who heavily dislike Sonic Heroes.
Wow. Yo, can you explain what Sonic 95 is? I just want to know my enemy.
Yeah, I've got a bit more under my sleeve. Like mentioned before, Sonic 95 Scrambled Eggs is a Sonic 4 remake done in a 16-bit style similar to the classic games in Sonic Mania. It's immediately obvious with the first and only playable stage, Splash Hill Zone. Not only is its aesthetic and named ripped straight out of Sonic 4, but apparently the level design is too. The level design in Sonic 95 is very linear with not much going on. That might just be because none of the enemies outside of the first one are in the game, so maybe it'll feel more alive in a future update. The second act does have a little bit going on though, with the introduction of the vines from the original game. They function slightly differently depending on how soon you'll jump off, rather than if you'll swing the analog stick to keep Sonic swinging on the vine. However, on certain occasions they simply just wouldn't work. Outside of a few characters that are just ripped versions of their Sonic Mania counterparts, that's Sonic 95 in a nutshell. The game is clearly unfinished and needs a lot of work, but it's clear that there's a vision behind this and it could be crafted into something absolutely fantastic once it's said and done. For now though, the game's fine.
This is Candace Dees on the scene of the giant thing that has destroyed this very place we call home. I'd like to say goodbye to my family. Ma, I'm sorry for taking the cookies out of the jar when I was 7. I know it was 42 years ago, but I never apologized. And Sharon, please come back to me if I survive.
Today, we want to talk about a Sonic game that we hold very close to our hearts.
And that is Sonic Unleashed!
Well, it seems like some lunatics are trying to fight back against the thing, and have appeared to not die yet. Sharon, please come back, I'm begging you, come back with the kids.
You think that's enough games?
We're about to find out.
This isn't enough. We need more fan creations.
This is everything we have. I'm sorry.
Sonic fans across the afterlife, lend us your energy!
That's good. That's good.
Now, X-Full, do it now!
Hey, you want to see something cool? Great. Just the place I wanted to be. Sonic Generations. And this is just the thing I wanted to see. More blue orbs.
It is I, the ghost of Sonic 95.
Cool. So if you're the ghost of Sonic 95, why did you attack the island? We didn't do anything wrong. Most of us.
I deeply apologize for my careless rampage. I was infuriated by the lack of care I've had throughout the years. Ever since my demo was pushed back just as Sage was beginning back in 2020, a terrible year, nobody has cared for me. I haven't heard any discussion about my upcoming updates.
What are you talking about? There are so many people who have been interested in your project. And even if they aren't, that shouldn't matter. You shouldn't make fan games to get a bunch of downloads or start a big discussion, or even worse, out of spite. You should make them because you love the craft. You should make them because you want to see a vision realized. That's what Sage is all about anyway. A bunch of Sonic fans coming together to show their love for making video games and sharing what they've learned to maybe help aspiring developers find inspiration to make their own games.
Yeah, you're right. Finishing a project out of passion can be even more satisfying than finishing it for clout anyway.
Now you're getting it. So how about you come back out there and finish the game without destroying the island we live on?
Yeah, of course. Can't let that happen again.
We f***ing did it!
Wow, I don't believe it. This just in. The afterlife has been saved thanks to a bunch of bozos. Hopefully this means that Sharon will finally return with the kids after... Sharon, please.
We actually won.
Was there any doubt?
Well, you know, somewhat.
Well, to celebrate not dying, I say we should all try that new Fortnite update. I hear the Gritty's back in the item shop.
Oh my god, it's the fucking Gritty! Oh my god,
Hey, sorry for not trusting you earlier. You're clearly not trying to backstab us. I hope.
Don't worry about it. I get that a lot. I am the ruler of hell after all. The amount of times I've been confused for the devil is absurd.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, if you want, you can join us in trying out the new Fortnite update.
Thanks for the offer, but I can't stay. I have an entire realm waiting for me, and if I don't return soon, they'll start playing other games like Sonic Heroes.
I get you. Well, thanks anyway.
Wait, Nada's no cuts? You're the ruler of hell?
Yep, that's me.
Dude, I'm a huge fan. I've been watching ever since the Sonic Unleashed review. If you're stuck down there in hell, why don't I just combine the realms together?
You can do that? Since when?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know. Give me a sec.
Wow, I don't even know what to say. Thank you.
No problem, buddy. Now, who's ready to hit the Gritty?
Oh my god, I've been waiting all night for this. I'm doing the Gritty, man. I'm doing the Gritty.
Crazy day today, huh?
Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of close calls. But I think for now, we could take a rest for a long time.